Hello, everyone, and welcome to Healing Hours. Every week, we have conversations that heal our soul with Seema Singhal, master healer, life coach, and mentor. Welcome, Seema.
Thank you so much.
So, to take up from where we left last time, our conversation about stress, and you beautifully created that stress and success cannot coexist, right? So, being a professional, I have seen it in of working in corporate, working with deadlines, financial targets. So, I'd like to ask you, how does one approach stress and success at work?
So, whenever we are talking about stress or success, they would always exist in all areas of our life. And if we minutely see, we'll see that we have to perform in all areas of our life as well. In our previous conversation, when we were talking about stress, we very clearly mentioned that these both emotions, because being successful is an emotion and being stressful is another emotion, so they cannot coexist in one space. So whenever we have targets, whenever we have deadlines to complete, we have to understand with which emotion are we approaching that task, that area of work. So if my approach towards that deadline is starting from stress that, oh my god, I have to complete that in this moment of time by this, if I am not doing it, then what will happen? So with stress, I am attaching fear of non-performance or fear of not being a successful person, or fear of failure, or fear of being put down by my boss or by my bosses or my colleagues. So I have to understand with which emotion I am approaching towards my work. The entire space that we create in our workspace is all about action. So most of the people end up stressing and thinking too much about what they have to create rather than being in action. So I always very strongly believe that we have to be in action to create results. Stress can only create delays, non-performance, anxiety, and ultimately probably failures. And then we look back and we kind of try to figure out what is it that didn't work for me. So the baseline is because you started with the stress emotion, with the emotion of fear of non-performance and the failures. That's why it didn't give you the clarity of mind how you can actually be in action and reach up to your results. Yeah, so that is more important, that you are starting up with the right emotion when you are doing your work.
Okay, I think that's a very, what do I say? It's direct. And it gives us a very clear access to approach work, any work.
Exactly.
Like whether we are having a deadline or not, and it's going to create an effectiveness in the projects, in the milestones that we will need to create. Now, having said that, uh, the fear, the fear of what our peer group is going to say, the fear of failure or the fear of non-performance, it stays somewhere at the back of the mind. Like, it's kind of, uh, it's not a voluntary thing that we put in our space. So, any kind of, principle that we can apply to take care of it?
So, these emotions are part of our cell memory, if scientifically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And we have organically been born with certain fears. Genetically, we have kind of imbibed through our parents, through our generations. And we've not been taught that we can actually perform without fear. So we have to consciously shift our thought process and become present to our thoughts each and every second while we are in action, while we are performing, that this component of fear is not required at all. So if consciously I drop the fear of being judged by my boss or by my colleagues or by people around in my family, so I will see that my results, my output is increasing, my effectiveness towards my work is increasing, and I am enjoying what I'm doing. So for a kid also, when they are performing, when they are doing their exams, when they are studying, if they are enjoying, they will definitely gonna increase their effectiveness and their results. So the same applies to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. When we are playing a game,
Right.
that is also result, that is also a milestone, but we are excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's zero stress. Yeah.
So it's like when you plan without being fearful, when you plan your trips, let's say suppose,
Yes.
you're not having the fear of whether you will enjoy it or not, whether people are going to judge you. So you completely enjoy that space. But when you are at work, the moment you come into that space, your entire conditioning comes back. That, this is how you have to be, this is how you have to maintain your targets. You have to give a certain output, agreed. You have to be in a discipline, agreed. But that can come with joy. So what we have to shift is the emotion that is associated to your performance. So here we are eliminating the fear and the stress from the conscious being, and we are bringing in the emotion of joy, of excitement, of feeling satisfied while I am working towards it. I'm feeling happy when I am creating that. So I am not doing out of pressure. I am not doing out of being judged by people around me. So the entire space has been recreated for you.
Okay. And how does it look on the court? Like, how do we actually do it? It sounds awesome, but very few have been able to do it.
So because very few have been approached with this entire information.
Yes,
So that's why
absolutely.
people are just not aware of something like this exists in this world. So if we consciously, as I said, we drop certain emotions and we pick certain emotions consciously, and we keep empowering ourselves that, I can do it with joy. I can reaffirm myself again and again and again that I can do it with happiness, I can do it with satisfaction, and I can have a great career out of it, and I can have great output and results out of it. So it is, I'm rewiring myself, rewiring my brain, my cell memory, my subconscious self, by repeating it again and again to myself. And I can say to myself that I can do great when I'm doing it with joy. So that's how it works.
Okay, that's really great, and I could really see that, the remote control of our life, of our success, lies with us.
Completely, 100%.
Well, that's really empowering. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.